Okay. Hi there, guys. Welcome. Sorry for the late start, but sometimes, we need to either have a, sort of 15 minutes early or even 15 minutes late just to get people going. But I'm also monitoring the news quite a bit. And sometimes it is exactly that time, about 9-ish or so, we get quite a lot of news being released on the UK side of it, especially just before the London Open. So that matters a lot as well for me to look at certain price action. So I was just looking at certain price action, lay out some prices as well. So let's get going. Welcome. Thank you very much for waiting as well. Today is the 21st of June and it's Bretton's Monday market outlook ahead or week ahead. And we will just do a brief one today, not too long, but we want to go through certain trades that are either stuck by most of the traders or just want to look at where the traders stand at the moment with regards to price and what basically we need to do, because we need to plan that, especially if we've got some pending orders, some trades that are not closed yet as of last week or even longer. So we want to take a look at that. So let's take a look very quickly with regards to GBP, JPY, GBP USD, and gold. But just before that, I like to follow the protocol just to look at a couple of things outside of the chart first. So we will also talk a little bit about oil's progress, because as you can see, the biggest headline here, even in Bloomberg and the other mainstream media or news, have actually talked about the Iranian nuclear talks, and basically it says no progress, stuff like that. But then because of the need in demand, the demand is rising even more and the supply is actually not rising. So that is pushing price of oil even more. So yes, we are looking into that side of it. And we are looking at the demand side of it more, but then the nuclear talks has got no clarity. So that might actually at some point rise up gold's position as well, because there's more and more risk, geopolitical risk, and non-clarity as well about this Iran nuclear thing. So I think this usually rises a little bit of fear and uncertainty, and that usually rises the demand for safe havens like gold. So this is why I want to take a look as well in currencies on the top mover, just to see what are the currencies that are in focus, especially the top 10 on Action Forex. So we can see that, New Zealand dollar is very much in focus. So we've got the top three, New Zealand versus USD, CAD, and GBP. We've got some GBP participation right there. We've got GBP NZD, GBP AUD as well, but NZD has got loads of interest in the market, and mostly on the buy side of it. We've got clarity in terms of trend with NZD USD and AUD USD as well. So we're talking about commodity currencies again. Here we've got NZD. We've got NZD combined with CAD. We've got some more CADs here. We've got Australia. So we've got Australia, New Zealand, and CAD. They are all commodity currencies. So we can see that the focus are all on commodity currencies, and they are mostly on the buy for the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. So I just want to also look at the 4 dots ones right here. So I would want to analyze a little bit more NZD USD, AUD USD as well, just to ride along the trend that is happening today, and then the CAD JPY. Just want to analyze and look at where they stand in terms of trend as well and current price action. Then we can move on. Let's just very quickly go on to the currency heat map as well. Now, heat map wise, if you look at this right here, we look at one by one. USD, you've got the bearishness coming in. Compared to all other currencies, you can see that it's building up its bearishness. So maybe it's building up on the correction as well. So we want to take a look at that. And then we want to look at Euro. You have got Euro versus CAD seem to be quite strong, dark blue here. But then the pair that has got more strength in the upside bullishness, dark blue, is actually JPY. So that also tells me that it may be a risk-off environment now because people are buying the commodity currencies, people are going into safe havens. Gold has a potential. We see that USD is weakening. So we see that JPY, CHF, commodity currencies, they're all sort of going up and sort of having a bit of a bullish stance. So if gold is going up, usually it has a little bit of connection or correlation with the GBP going up as well. So we want to take a look at that. Now, naturally, if USD is actually to the downside or correcting to the downside, then we are looking at GBP roughly to the upside. And if we are looking at a risk-off environment that people are, most traders and investors are putting their money into safe havens. You can see safe havens building up. You can see JPY is building up quite well. JPY is building up from the daily chart onwards already. If they start to build up in terms of buying and strongly bullish from the higher time frame like daily, weekly, and monthly, it's a good sign. That actually means that it has got more power to plan for the medium to long term, and they've already made their mind in terms of promoting the JPY to the upside or being interested in investing into JPY as a safe haven. So that does actually then tell us that USD could actually be weaker as well, because if you combine your USD with JPY, obviously JPY is on the upside, USD on the downside. So that's another confirmation that we might see more correction, maybe change of total trend. We don't know that yet, but weakening of the dollar and rising up of safe havens, including gold as well. So it's a rough idea that you guys, especially traders, need to be aware of that kind of story and that kind of market condition that is going on right now in the market. So in the market at this moment of time, from what I can see, together with the news and everything else I've checked this morning, it looks like it's a risk-off environment. Investors, traders wants to shy away from taking too much risk. They want to be more careful. They want to switch off their risk appetite. So what would that mean? That means that their interest would actually be more onto gold and safe havens. Okay, so we want to then monitor this as a potential trade idea and potential trend that would go into commodity currencies and safe havens onto the buy side. Okay, all right. So there you go. So you've got a clearer sort of trend picking up on JPY, which is a very good thing. So now what I can then say is, because we have gone on to the top movers, we see that NZD is in focus. The top three clearest sort of trend is NZD USD, AUD USD, and also CAD JPY. We want to take a look at these three as well, just so that we know how to write the trend. And then from the heat maps perspective, we see that JPY is there. So we've got a couple of currency to focus on. Okay, so we have got NZD, of course, right? Commodity currencies like NZD, AUD, and also AUD, NZD, and CAD. We need to keep a track on these currencies together with JPY as well. Now, because we are looking at weakening of the USD, then we want to also look at gold's position. Okay, so USD, gold, AUD, NZD, CAD, JPY. Now, because we are also looking at gold, we can look into GBP as well. So there's been a correlation quite intact with gold going up, and GBP as well, and there's a positive correlation between the two. So we've got that side of it out of the way right now, but very quickly, just before getting back into the chart to go through some of the pairs and instruments, we just want to take a quick look right here on some of the news here, headlines only. Gold prices vulnerable to further losses as tapering fears intensify. Now, this is today's news, but then it's got a little bit of a trick here as well, because today is Monday, and then we want to also look at the economic calendar. We cannot confirm this headline here yet, because we need to get confirmation from certain data and things like that, because from heat maps and from various tools, it's looking like weakening of the dollar together with rising interest into the safe haven. So that kind of news right here needs a little bit more time for us to look at the market going, because the London Open hasn't really marinated into the market yet. So we need to look at that. Hence the reason we need to go into the chart to confirm that as well. So if we go onto the chart and it doesn't actually confirm the headline, that means a fundamental and the technical does not match. We just have got to wait. Now, if you are in doubt, you just stay out for a while until they actually match. Then you've got a more solid trend. Then you plan your entries and exits and everything else. Okay, so this is basically the best way to actually deal with the market. So now what we can actually do, just to look at the other ones right here, as new retail trade age, this one here, we don't need that. US dollar forecast, you've got Fed. So we've got tapering. Last week on Friday, we talked a little bit about the reflation scenario as well, but we want to look at all the majors as well, whether or not they're correcting meaning for the US dollar. Is it really getting weaker or not? We don't know that yet. Right now we see that all the news are sort of mixed, but then we've got a rough idea from the tools and the heat maps and stuff like that, that there may be lots of interest into the Japanese yen on the buy side. And also US is getting weaker. Is that true or not? Now we go onto the chart and we confirm that. Okay, so let's start with the GBP pairs, and then we go on to gold. So Alfred, it was the GBP JPY GBP USD, right? And then gold. Give me a second. Let me just GBP USD JPY and then gold. Yeah. So we can take a look at gold first, just to look at how is it progressing. Let me lay out the other ones as well. Give me a second. So we've got GBP USD, GBP JPY is here. Okay, and we'll take a look at oil as well. Euro USD, we need to take a look at that too. Okay, and GBP USD. Give me a second. All right. Okay, got it laid out here. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right, let's take a look at gold first, and then we'll take a look at GBP USD and GBP JPY, and then go back to Euro USD. Okay, so here, I mean, I've left all the drawings and the lines untouched. All the relevant areas that I have pointed out as selling zones still remains intact at the moment for gold, and this is what's happening at this moment of time. And I want you guys to look at the monthly chart as a big picture first, and this is laid out right here as a selling zone, as the selling zone. Now, as you can see, the price is just going under this selling zone at this moment of time, and it's actually approaching the opening price of this mother candle right here, which is also very close to this support level of this mother candle right here. So what does this mean? This means that it's probably time for me to get rid of all these lines and do a new fresh analysis based on the bullish mother candle as well, because we may actually expect some correction at this moment of time. So what we can then do as well is to look into whether or not it is going to correct, and whether or not we can use both stochastic to look at that, as well as draw a trend line on the RSI. So I'll demonstrate the use of stochastics and RSI onto gold gold at this moment of time, but we want to draw fresh lines and fresh zones as well. So now here, first thing I would do is get this blue zone right here based on this mother candle. Okay, I don't want to be based on a longer one. I want it to be based on a shorter one right here. And I think I'll take the middle mother candle right here just to actually be safe. So now if I take this blue zone and I use the reference point, this mother candle here as a reference point, then I can see that this is where I think it would be a safer buy. I don't want to take straight away here opening price and here and say that the price is already inside the buying zone. No, I just want everybody to be a bit safer, just to consider that a higher area would actually be your safer buying area. So your safer buying area is 1791 and above. So now we are at 1778 because we are just beginning of the week, Monday, still very early. So that difference between 1778 current price to 1791 and above, it's not that big. It's still okay, but it is better to be safe rather than to get yourself frustrated into waiting, right? So it's probably better that you know that this is your area buying zone. I just want to be safe. I want to take the safer, shortest one here amongst the three. So of course we want to use, we know that all this area right now where I've drawn the blue zone is actually quite a strong buying area. So after the price have actually gone up, let's say it bounces up, it could actually bounce up anywhere here as well. Okay, anyway here and anyway here, right? So these lines right here, from 1767 area to 1757, this is where I've drawn the line. So maybe the price will go down a little bit just to flirt with these two lines, red lines here, and then possibly time for it to actually go upwards. Okay, so now for example we go back. So the blue zone area is your buy zone. So that is ranging anywhere between 1791.59 to 1896.83. That is your buy zone. Okay, so not yet, price hasn't gone up there. We need to monitor it first because today is just Monday and we want to see how it progresses. Whether or not it will go up and all that, does not matter at this moment of time. We just need to know whether it starts to reverse at these lines and then tries to penetrate into or pierce through into the blue buying zone. That's what's very important. Now, overall trend. You can see monthly chart, very clear upward movement. All the candles are above all the three lines. Three lines are quite nice and clear to the upside. Then here, for example, with it went down a little bit right here. It's a bit unpredictable on the weekly chart. Daily chart, again, it's total opposite. When we go into the daily chart, you can see that a hint has been given to us traders that it's already begun to reverse very nicely with a bullish candle on that level that I have drawn as well. So now it's there. It's pointing upwards, going towards this area here, and we want it to pierce through into this area. Okay, and then hourly chart, same thing, picking up in price, finding correction. So it may be this safe haven type urge by traders and investors for this. So this is what's going on, but we need to monitor it a little bit more. You guys have got the buy zone area already laid out for you. So we just need to monitor until it enters in there. Then we can plan a little bit more of how far, how much we need to enter with, to exit where and all that. We'll lay out all the entries and exits after it has pierced through, so that then we can look to the left together to actually plan that stage by stage entry. At this moment of time, do nothing and just wait until it gives us the confirmation that it wants to enter into the buy zone. Okay, and that needs to be fueled by other things that are happening in the market. So that is for gold at this stage. Okay, so we don't want to overcomplicate things at this moment of time with gold, because we've got a lot to sort of monitor as well. So before that, I think we've forgotten to just look, just to have a sneak peek onto the economic calendar itself, just to know roughly what other events we're expecting that would actually rock the market a little bit on the data's perspective, economic data. So for a Monday, it's not bad. It's going to have two speeches on by President Lagarde, and that's quite high impact. So we are seeing the possibility of volatility, a little bit of volatility onto the euro. Okay, so that's happening today as well. For a Monday, it could actually be a start of more movement, because we have got the euro right there being moved first. And then I see that Tuesday, we've got more euro concerns, euro data as well. And then we have got Federal Powell's testimony right there, which is categorized as high impact news. So we will see USD moving as well. And then we have got, this is very important because of how the market actually started with the JPY focus, and it's usually a gauge, an indicator about how traders are putting in their money into safe haven or not. And we can see that they are putting the money into safe haven. And I think this here, the Bank of Japan's monetary policy meeting minutes will actually become the fuel of pushing it more, or changing the direction, stuff like that. So let's monitor that as well. And that happens on Tuesday, tomorrow. Wednesday, let me just use a scroll. It's usually okay, I think I've got to go on to the week. Okay, second. All right, there you go. So Wednesday, we've got loads of data on Wednesday, which is great. So loads of volatility expected, mainly euro again. So I think euro JPY will be nice, interesting to actually take a look as well. Maybe some opportunities there, but we are looking at a lot of euro speeches, a lot of euro data, all high impact as well. So that's quite a nice one to look at. Also, because we see that the commodity currencies are moving, so maybe riding along what's going on in Europe, with Europe's movement driven by Lagarde, driven by economic data and all that. So it's quite nice to actually look at whether or not we can combine euro versus JPY, euro versus AUD, euro versus NZD, and of course euro USD, which is one of the majors and one of the most traded pair as well. But I see that Thursday will be a very nice Euro GBP possibility of a very nice volatility, also because it's Thursday. So Thursdays, we are getting loads of pairs that may have a higher average movement per pip, and that's quite nice, very, very volatile. As you can see, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 data will be released, and they are all very high impact. So I would imagine Thursday would be very nice to also trade gold, because it's got correlation with gold on GBP, but we need to look at GBP USD as well. So in relation to USD, and we do a bit of a triangle, GBP, USD, and gold, and see whether we can actually find opportunities there as well. Okay, so that's basically how it looks like. Friday is, let's see how Friday looks like. Not too bad, but quiet for a Friday, I think, on June 25th. Very, very quiet. Not really that interesting, I would think, except for another European Council meeting right there. Okay, so that's it. So now let's get back to this. We've finished gold. Let's go to GBP USD and take a look at what's going on. Now with GBP USD, let's start fresh right here. And I'm on the daily chart at this moment of time, and I see that it's trading at 38.08 at this moment of time. I've forgotten to actually demonstrate a little bit on the RSI and stochastic. We'll do that for GBP. Okay, so let's we can insert Firstly, we insert the relative strength index, the RSI first. With period 5, you don't change anything, apply to close, and you change the color if you want, but make sure your period is number 5. You click on OK, and how I use the RSI is very simple. Not as a overbought, oversold tool, I just draw a trend line. So at this moment of time, you can see that all of these are zigzagging coming downwards, right? All this blue line right here. And I can see that the clearest one is to draw a trend line from the top like this. And then from the bottom trend line, as many touch points as possible, I choose this one here. So I've got 1, 2, 3. If you've got 3 or more, it will be brilliant, but 2 is the minimum touch point. So here I've got a couple of touch points, 3 touch points as well. So what does this tell me is that there is a possibility on the daily chart, because it broke the downward trend line, the upward trend line right here. So it shows me that it's got more room to the downside on the daily chart. If we go on to the weekly chart, you can see that if we take this one out, and it's just checking on trend line and the trend again with RSI. Okay, so here, if I draw a trend line here upwards, is a very strong downward type movement as well. I don't look at the overbought, oversold thing, and I just look at the trend line. Now, with trend line on weekly and daily, it is giving us the idea that it's got more downward type movement. Okay, so this is basically what is happening at this moment of time. With the 4-hour chart, it's not a very nice sort of design to draw trend line on there. On the 1-hour chart, it's on the upward move, but if you draw a trend line from here to here, roughly like that, it's got a bit of correction. Possibly it's showing some correction on the short-term move, but then somehow it is still showing downward movement when we come onto the chart. When we come onto the chart, it just shows that it's got more preference to the downward move, but then we want to be very careful. When we look onto the chart for GBP USD on the 4-hour chart, there is a reason to believe that it is correcting at this moment of time. But let's use the stochastic to see whether or not it has chances of correction by using divergence. Okay, so here, for example, let's go onto the daily chart. Okay. The daily chart itself, let's see. If I take this area right here, that resembles that, okay? So if I take this, and current price is a slope upwards, and if I take this one here, this is a slope downwards. So yes, there is a divergence. There may be a reversal, could potentially happening to go upwards, okay, for GBP USD. Now, when we look to the left and we see price action itself, it is at 1.38. It was at 1.3820 area. It went down already, and then there is another psychological level at 1.3800, which tells me there is a possibility that it wants to correct itself to go up, to bounce up. Now, as we look to the left, it is exactly at this area right here that it can actually reverse. We look further to the left again, we've got some more support right here. We've got some more support right here, and all these supports right here. Now, what I will do to make it a bit safer for traders is to actually plan where can you actually buy if there were to be a reversal, but a little bit higher, because now you are trading at 1.3811. So as it goes up, it needs to go and prove to us that it wants to go up more by going above 1.3820, because 1.3820 is your psychological level, right? So you need this area right here, 3820. So where would you actually buy after 3820 is 3830. So your ideal buying price would only be at 3830, correct? So then what I will do is I will lay out the 3830 price right here first. to say that that is probably an area, ideal area that you would buy if the price remains to be stronger and going up, bullishness basically persists. Then if I look at this price at 38.30, where I think it's an ideal price to buy, I look to the left, I see I've got some bullish candle right here, and I've got another stronger one right here, and then got some more, got some more, got some more. So that means that it's good to actually plan based on this mother candle right here. So that also means that I may have this area right here as a potential resistance as well, because you see how it actually reacted there. So I want to limit my buy, not get very excited with it as well, just to always plan the exit properly. So now I have got 3830 right here and 3895. Now, if I were to plan to buy at 3830, I can actually do a bit of a buying zone right here. Okay, this area right here. So my buy wouldn't start only later on. So 3830 is where you can actually plan your buy, your pending buy, 1.3830, to look at potential upward movement correction of the GBP USD, and then you want to maybe take profit at 3870 before it reaches the 3880 psychological level. So then that means you have got a 40 pips potential there. This is for the buy. So I don't look at the sell at this moment of time, mainly because there is an expectation of it actually going up first, or maybe there is a correction. Maybe we'll just go down as well right now. We don't know that yet, but then looking at all the price action and the way it is actually moving, and also looking at all these areas of support, it has got a better possibility of a correction. And then as you look at the stochastic as well, is giving you a little bit of a hint of a potential reversal. Okay, so that is for GBP USD. Now, with GBP USD, is that clear? You guys have got any questions so far? Yeah. Okay. And let's look at, okay. All right, good. For those who are selling or have been selling, let's say on GBP USD, you need to wait till the price goes a bit lower. It's already gone lower at 3820 and below, but then now it's at 3812. Maybe it is trying to go a little bit lower and bounce up from the 3800 psychological level. Only after it goes, if it does go lower than 3800, and then it looks like it can go down much more, then we can plan our selling type trade and make sure that, yes, you've got more selling pressure. But at this moment of time, it looks like corrective pressure. The market's pressure to correct itself, to bounce up first, and doesn't look like it is actually wanting to go down a lot. And there's just no much support of any bearish mother candles right down here as well. You've got one right here as well, but we need it to go down to 3800 level first, and then go under 3800. Then it's a selling type pressure. At this moment is a corrective type pressure. This is what I expect for it to actually happen at this moment of time for GBP USD. So if no question GBP USD, we go on to the GBP JPY. Now GBP JPY 15180's area at this moment of time. It's more or less the same like what we have seen just now on GBP USD. Here, for example, I can see on the 4-hour chart, if it were to rise up a little bit more, it might want to respect this area here, opening price of a mother candle at 15, I think it's 15200 and above. So 15210 would probably be a better buying area. It does also look very much like GBP USD, where it wants to correct, and it's correcting already itself. But the ideal price of the buy for you guys traders is at 152.10. It's better to wait a little bit and not to rush to enter right now, because anything can actually happen at this moment of time. So 15210. Okay, so 15210 would probably be better. And then based on the 4-hour chart, you can then exit 15240. So you've got a 30 pips type potential right there. Let me just change this rate as well. 15240. Okay. There you go. So 15240 and 15210, that makes 30 pips potential for GBP JPY. Again, it's not a sort of market that is looking like it wants to go down a lot more. We've got a wick right there as well, telling you it's weaker to the downside, so it has potential for it to reverse. Now, based on the daily chart, let's say ADX itself, okay, let me just get rid of the ADX. Look at the RSI. Very much to the downside right here following RSI, but then if you look at price action and all that, there's a potential for it to reverse. It's like the other GBP pairs. I think they all will work together, like GBP USD as well. So it is looking for reversal at this moment of time. So let us take this away and insert your stochastic to look at whether or not you have divergence. Okay. Now here, let's see. All right. The peak and the peak right there, and this one here, this one here. No divergence so much on daily, not clear actually. And let's go on to 1 hour chart. Okay. Yeah, we've got divergence here very clearly. This is a downward trend. You've got the low, and then it goes lower low here, right? And same area right here is a higher low. So that's a divergence. And you can see that this is already reversing, already happening for GBP JPY on the 1 hour chart. So you can see that reversal coming in strong with the bulls coming in from short-term time frame. It's building up on the 4 hour chart as well. It's reaching this area right here. So I think 152.10 is ideal buying price, and then 15240 is your exit or TP price. So you've got 30 pips right there. So that's GBP JPY. I don't see any downward type thing. I'm seeing a reversal. It's already happening at this moment of time to the upside, and it's building up as well. So yeah, let's take a look at that. For now, we've got a bullish candle right there, but not to take too much on the buy, because anything can actually happen as well. Okay, so that is what's happening at this moment of time for GBP JPY. Now, US oil is still playing in within the zone. It is very clearly bullish. We've got fundamentals to drive it upwards, but then, you know, it's got up and down, but it is in the buying zone at this moment of time on US oil. Now, UK oil. UK oil is a little bit slower the way it's actually moving, but then I think it's better to plan your buy only from 73.10 and above. Okay, 73.10 and above, then you want to exit at 73.40, so 73.10 and then 73.40. But right now it's trading at 72.97, 98 area, very close to the 73 psychological level as well. So you need it to actually move up a little bit to 73.10 at least, then you can actually buy the 73.10, so 10 pips above the psychological level. Okay, so all clear now, right, for UK oil. Now, let's also look at Euro USD very quickly. Now, as you can see, Euro USD is picking up. This is on the daily chart. Okay, it has gone down a lot, as you guys know. It went through the selling zone that we have planned as well. Congratulations for those who have actually sold all throughout this selling zone. It was a very nice selling trade for that at that time. It went beyond that, went lower than the selling zone. So now it does actually look like maybe all these speeches and speeches and also data by the Eurozone that we can see very, very busy this whole week. If it sounds more and more positive, I think it will start to actually pick up. And then we may have some buying type, what do you call that, zone. But from looking at where it stands right here, it looks like we have some buying that can happen, but not too much if it is here. But if it actually drops more and then come to this area, then the buy would actually be a little bit more powerful. So at this moment of time, yes, we may have some buying, but it sort of limited until the 1962 area. We are at 18. So 1950s area, if you see yourself getting excited in buying the Euro USD for any reason at all today, then just monitor the price of 1.1950. So you need to exit in all costs. If you are buying, just make sure you exit at 1.1940 before it reaches 1.1950 psychological level. Okay, so there is a possibility for Euro USD to go up, but I think it also is quite tricky, risky, depends on what's going on, what the big boys, big women are talking about in today's speech as well. So that would actually be the deciding factor of how volatile it could actually be or how unpredictable. But then if you look at the candles right here, the bullish candle, bullish mother candles, they are quite limited here, very short, very short. We don't have a very long one starting from the current price right now. So right now it is showing you a little bit of bullishness and a bit of bullish interest by buyers. So I see it a limit at this moment of time. So whatever you do, make sure you exit before 1900. You exit before 1900 if you are buying, and then you re-enter again later on once it goes above 1.1900, and then you can trade again at 1.1910, let's say. But for now, if you are already buying or you plan to buy, make sure you are careful with it, because the risk is there are risks because we are close to the 1880 psychological level as well. Okay, it's not too much to take because you've got 1880 as your psychological level, and then you've got your 1.1900, your psychological level as well. For me personally, I think if I want to buy, I will wait until it goes to 1900 and above, and then get some pips from there. Okay, all right, that's Euro USD, guys. Any other questions, any other pairs that you guys would like to look at that I may have missed out? Okay, if no questions, we'll end the session for today. But then you guys can directly message me on Telegram or WhatsApp, and also in the group, engage with us, Facebook group as well, Facebook page. Okay, brilliant. Okay, guys, no questions, then I'll end the session today, ready for my next webinar later on as well. So yeah, please feel free to also attend. I've got another webinar as well on another platform that is more binary oriented as well, but then they've got a lot of packages, videos and everything to actually offer to traders. It's called My 24 Domino as well, and that's basically we've got traders of ours who are also trading in that kind of platform that's good for the news trading, naked chart trading type, if you're interested in attending that. But that is a sort of opening webinar just to introduce the courses that are available, the whole package of 200 plus videos that are available for those who are interested in the basics of Forex and crypto. Okay, now it's a Swiss company basically as well, and basically we've got lots of common traders who are also there, so maybe you guys can network with them too. So we'll send out the link in the groups and you guys can attend. That's in 1 hour's time from now. Okay, all right guys, thank you so much. I'll end the session for today, and we'll meet again on Wednesday, which is the midweek webinar. Okay, guys, take care. Happy pipping. Any questions, just ping me onto the on direct messages on Telegram or WhatsApp or anywhere that you can find me. Okay, take care, guys. Thank you, and we'll see you guys soon.